Hey guys, what's up? It's Rich Tyson coming at you. Wanted to weigh in on the NAR proposed solution to the lawsuit. So there's two parts to this. First of which is they are proposing that all buyers enter into buyer-broker agreements with their agents in the event that they would like them to represent them on a purchase. Secondly, is that they are proposing that in the MLS that cooperation from a listing agent to a buyer's agent be removed. So I love one of these, I hate one of these, and let's get into it. So with regards to a buyer's broker agreement, for any of you that are unaware of what that is, it's a commitment that you're going to make as a buyer to your broker, that you're going to work with them for a certain period of time on helping them help you allocate a piece of property. Conversely, it's also going to say that the agent's on the hook for doing their best efforts to find you a property. Often with that, though, there is an agreed to compensation that the buyer's agent's going to require that a buyer essentially promise that, they'll go out and help them find a property, but they're going to be on the hook for a certain fee or percentage or however they choose to negotiate, break that out. I'm all in favor of this. I think it's fantastic that as professionals, we should ask for commitment out of those folks that are asking us for our time, our expertise, and our consultation. I also think that it's good as agents that we're committed to buyers for a period of time to help them on that venture of acquiring a piece of property. Now, to the idea that we're going to remove cooperation out of the MLS, I find this to be problematic. And the reason for that is it's removing transparency. So in an industry that people complain that there's not enough transparency or feel that there's not enough transparency, why we would reduce transparency under the premise of having that fix anything is a bit odd to me. Having sat on professional standards in New York that hears ethics complaints both between agent to agent and from consumer to agent, I've seen an awful lot, certainly stuff I can't talk about because those hearings are, private matters and they are handled internally. But here's what I perceive as being a huge problem. You remove the compensation out of the listing. I, as a buyer's agent, have a buyer that is committed to working with me. They've committed to paying me a certain percentage or a certain fee for helping them acquire that piece of property. Now, if I look at a listing and it's not advertised, that means I need to pick up the phone and call the listing agent. Hey, my buyer's showing interest in this property. We need to know what the cooperation is on this because my buyer needs to know if they can afford, if there's any potential gap between what you're offering and what I'm demanding in order to represent them. So here's where I see the problems arising is especially for folks that are VA, FHA, or maybe buyers that are they've put just enough money together to get their closing costs, but they don't have additional monies above and beyond in order to compensate their agent. So now I call that listing agent and say, hey, Joe Smith over here, buyer Joe Smith wants to look at your property. Oh, you're only offering X. Okay, I got to go back to Joe and say, Joe, I can show you this property. Here's the problem. They're offering this. You're committed to paying this. And if Joe can't afford to pay that, Joe's going to tell me we need to move on and look at a different property. So maybe the ethics issues don't jump out at you right away, but what I see is people feeling that they were slighted, people feeling that they weren't told the truth. Maybe find out after the fact that, well, we were offering this, but a certain negotiation came to the table. We were willing to do something a little different to make that deal come together. Now Joe finds out about it, says, wait a minute, if I'd known that they were willing to do that, I would have looked at that property. Now Joe feels like he got screwed out of a house because he couldn't afford or didn't feel that he could afford the compensation to his agent. The other thing that I feel is ripe for concern is every buyer's agent going to be told the same thing by the listing agent when they call? And if not, now you've got problems galore. You've got certainly people feeling like they were, told one thing, it was really another. They were discouraged from showing a property. And with enough issues that we have in this career, this industry, I think reducing transparency is only going to cause a lot more ethics complaints, potential problems. So I see this as not being a solution. I see this being the cause of additional, far more problems than what we have going on right now. So I don't know where NAR is coming from on reducing transparency in the process. I don't see how on earth that fixes any of the problems that were supposedly caused that prompted the lawsuit, but that's my 2 cents. So I'm all about the buyer-broker agreements. Let's do it. Let's make sure everybody's committed to working with each other and we're not just out opening doors in the hopes that someone opts to move forward with us. But this idea that we're going to remove compensation out of the MLS is, I think it's a move in the very wrong direction. And just, I didn't say it at the beginning of the video, but a disclaimer, I'm a New York State, I'm a broker in New York State. I certainly speak on behalf of myself there. I am a licensed salesperson here in the state of Florida with Preferred Shore Real Estate, which I absolutely love. I do not speak on behalf of that brokerage whatsoever. I am an independent contractor to them, and Robert, I think, has done a fantastic job giving us his thoughts on this proposed solution to the problem. So again, that's where I'm coming from on it. Let's keep transparency open. Let's make sure that everybody, buyers, sellers, agents alike, everybody knows what's going on with the transaction. And let's go ahead and get those buyer broker agreements signed. You'll be doing yourself, some justice as an agent. And for buyers, if you're not willing to commit to agents, expect that you're not going to be getting maybe the best quality agents out there that are not willing to live up to the new ruling, and certainly not willing to demand something of you for their time. So if you guys got any questions, agents, buyers, sellers alike, I'm happy to address it with anybody, whether it's in New York or Florida. Hope you guys are well. And for my New York folks, this is, I know it's 35 and cloudy in Rochester right now, and this is, let's see, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's almost 80 and sunny out. So if you're feeling the winter blues, Sarasota, Florida has the cure for you. You guys be well out there. See ya.